Welcome Yu-Gi-Oh fans to Card Spotlight, the show where we take some very expensive pieces of cardboard and, well, we admire them because they're so bloody expensive. So today we have a very expensive piece of cardboard indeed. In fact, this is probably one of the most expensive pieces of cardboard that you could pull from any recent set, even more expensive than Starlight Rare Appaloosa. And of course, this is 10,000 Dragon from the latest Battle of Legend set, Battle of Legend Armageddon, which came out in July 2020. So yeah, it's a very expensive card, guys. This card goes for $1,500 and upwards, and the reason for that is partly because of hype, and partly because this rarity is actually very unique. It looks like a Starlight, but it's not a Starlight. So a Starlight rare would have its name in the standard silvery kind of sparkly writing, but this card here, if you can see, is actually in red. The writing 10,000 Dragon is in red, and here in the card text you can see a 10,000 imprinted onto the card text. Now this is on the card itself, not on the sleeve, for you guys thinking that. And this rarity is not actually a Starlight rare, it's actually a 20th anniversary secret rare which they already had in the OCG, which was actually introduced for this card, and in the end they used that rarity for other cards as well. So going on from that, this card appeared in the OCG in the Ignition Assault set to celebrate 10,000 cards being printed in the OCG, and we didn't get this until a few years later in Battle of Legend Armageddon. I'm not sure if it actually meant that we got 10,000 cards in the TCG, or if they just decided to bring it over because, well, it's a money card. Konami probably saw a lot of sets purely because of this card. I mean, the latest Battle of Legend set isn't the greatest Battle of Legend set, in fact it's a pretty poor set, and in fact most cards are not worth that much anymore, including Chaos Emperor, and yet somehow these sets are still going for a lot, and it's probably because people are very hyped for 10,000 Dragon. Now a bit more about this card. If I zoom in into the card itself, you can see the card number is BLAR-EN10K, and you can see that the passcode is a nice sweet 10,000, of course reflecting the fact that this is 10,000 Dragon, and the card effect itself reflects 10,000. But what's really cool is if you notice, and if you look at the artwork itself, you can see that the tip of the wing is kind of like a fountain pen. So if I zoom in a bit more here, come on guys, focus, come on camera, please focus, yeah! You can see that this tip here is a fountain pen, and you can see the fountain pen as well on his breastplate there. Okay, it's focused, great. So the reason why there's fountain pens here is because in Japanese, and in some places in Taiwan in fact, or some very old places in Taiwan, a fountain pen is called a 10,000 year pen, right? So, and that reflects the fact that it lasts for a very long time, it's made of metal. Nowadays in parts of Taiwan and China it's actually just called a metal pen, but in Japan it's still called a 10,000 year pen. And because of that 10,000 theme, they've kind of given this guy fountain pens as wings, which is very unique. And another thing to note about the artwork is if you zoom in here, you can see, oh, there we go, it's focus. You can see the backing of a card there. So you know on the back of a Yu-Gi-Oh card you have that kind of like mystical spiral, brownish black spiral thing. You can see that here in the back of the card, which is really cool. I don't know any other card that shows the back of a card as part of its artwork as a monster card. I mean, I'm sure there are loads of trap cards that have that, but I can't think of a single monster card that has a back of a card in its artwork. So it's very unique. In fact, this card and Armatar the Chaos Phantom are the only cards that have an effect that brings its attack points to over 5,000. So very unique indeed. And another thing about the artwork is it bears a very striking resemblance to an old favourite, Grand Dragon. So if you want to put, almost dropped the card there. If you put the cards side by side, you can see that there are a lot of similarities. So instead of having fountain pens as the tip of the wings, Grand Dragon is a bit more sensible, clawy things. But their artwork actually looks very similar. If one day Konami finally tells us who and puts the illustrations on these artworks, then maybe we'll find out if it's by the same illustrator, but I think so. They're very similar, aren't they? Anyways guys, so this is kind of my little take on 10,000 Dragon. And of course the back of it is just a standard Yu-Gi-Oh backing. It's not like one of the special God cards with a coloured backing, unfortunately. So yeah, let's take a moment to just appreciate how shiny this piece of cardboard is. Very shiny indeed. It shines just like a Starlight Rare for the people thinking, but that's pretty much it. And that's the end of the video. That's pretty much all I have to say, guys. It's a very expensive card. It's definitely the most expensive card in my collection. It's going to remain triple sleeved pretty much forever. I bought this guy for like $1,300, $1,400, so you know, it's a lot of money, but hopefully this guy keeps some of its value. I didn't think he would keep his value for this long, but he has. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see some more expensive cards up close. I'd like to take expensive Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I like to buy them, and I like to show them off on video, and that's what the point of my channel is. Anyways, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you guys next time.